Welcome back everybody. I thought I'd do a small video on installing a sound decoder in this Dapol Hawthorn Leslie. I purchased this second hand. It's a lovely little locomotive. It's DCC fitted, but benefit from the sound. I've heard them with sound and they sound really good. The sound decoders generally aren't available from Dapol. You have to send the locomotive back to them, they'll install it and then return the locomotive to yourselves. It's something to do with some sort of licensing. But I did find recently that one came up from Olivia's Sounds, Olivia's Emporium, I think, on eBay. And I purchased this one and I'm going to fit that into the locomotive. The collective price between that and buying them second hand saved me probably around about £60–70 off the list price for a new one, so worth doing. The other thing I've got to go with it is a small ESU speaker, hopefully to fit in. This one has still got the surround on it, which I'm going to have to remove to glue this into the Dapol locomotive, I believe, but I'll find out a little bit more when I go in. There's a little instruction came with the decoder, and obviously there's some instructions in the manual. So there's a comprehensive manual here telling you about the locomotive and how to install different pieces, how to get in and how to lift this little cover and put the speaker in. So this is what I'm going to attempt to do. Let's see how I get on. One of those locomotives that comes on this nice acrylic plinth. There's some lovely separate fitted detail here. I'm going to put some 3-link couplings on this one. It didn't actually come with the couplings on, but I'm not too worried about that. Get my table creaking. I've stopped leaning on it. I was forever losing these little spaces, so there's one's gone missing. I made a little bit of plaster type tube in there. I'll put some white tack in here, which is a bit like black tack but less tacky, and it just holds them to stop the screws. The space is disappearing. So in here, just use my nails. Oh, there we go. Remove the black up. That screwdriver is not quite big enough. That tip that's lifted away. It's nice die casting, that is quite heavy. Place that to one side. This already has a decoder in it, so I'm just going to non-sound, move that out. And in the instructions they show you just tipping this across. So we have, screw to one side, some screws here. Let's see, take these out. Hopefully the light's good enough in this video. It's not brilliant. And there's the small speaker socket. There's some pads here that the springs on these are available. I'll leave a link where I get these from. I get these from Road and Rails. They're quite reasonably priced. So let's see if we can just tease this off. I've done it before, and you just gently tease this off. Sure, some may be able to buy the speaker without these on. This is what I've got in stock. I think adhesive. Let's see how the adhesives come away with that side, unfortunately, on this occasion, so that leaves that with no adhesive on. So I'm going to put a small amount of super glue on here without getting it on the diaphragm, and hopefully that will seal it. I'm using medium viscosity super glue, which takes a little bit longer to go off. Move the locomotive well out the way of the super glue. I'm just going to get a bit of tape and a pin. I've got a dowel stick. I'm sure PVA or perhaps some other glue will be suitable. Probably just take a little bit longer to set. I think what I'll do is, in here there's a small shoulder. And what I'll do is I'll apply it around there. And hopefully that'll form a nice airtight seal with less mess. Okay, doesn't seem to be orientated anyway in terms of the clips. They're in the centre, so I'll just make sure those go back on. Move the super glue well out of the way. This part I don't actually need anymore. That's for building up like little sugar cube cases from ESU. So 2 pads, 2 clips, put that on. Seems okay, not the most robust clip, but yeah, that seems to be in. Right. Pop these back in. It's gone relatively straightforward. That's the water filler, mustn't lose that. And the decoder I'm going to put to one side. Your one. Get the new one out of the packet. It's quite a long decoder. I think you can fit a capacitor or stale to this somehow. But I've got another one of these. So it came sound fitted. And it runs perfectly without a capacitor in it. Maybe on exhibition or something like that. I want to have the reassurance of a stay alive. So I've fitted this so it's horizontal or parallel to the PCB. Tells you that in the instructions for fitting next 18s, make sure they're not wonky at all. So that seems to have gone in very straightforward. This needs to go in at a slight angle. And then we'll just pop this back in. Right. Can't remember which way around this went. There we go. They're all very easy. It's a nice, easy. For such a small locomotive, they've made that very simple for people to do. Let's get it down to this track and see what it sounds like. Here we have the locomotive down the track. It's on the road at the moment. We'll run through the sound functions and then do some running shots of the locomotive afterwards on the track. So F1 is active. If we apply some throttle up to 40% there. There's some inertia built in the settings. F2 is a whistle, short whistle. F3 is a long whistle. F4 is some coal shovelling. And pressing F4, the sound of coal shovelling can be heard at the same time the fireworks flicker effect can be seen. The coal shovelling will continue until F4 is turned off, or else it can be that coal. Turn it off. F5 is an injector. F6 is a blower. F7 is brake application. Pressed and the sound of the brakes being applied will be heard. If wheel drive is active, the working brake will also be applied. We need to have a look into that. Wheel drive's not active by default here. F8 is buffer up and coupling up. Just bring the loco to a halt to do that one. That's automatically the brake being applied there. Buffering up, great. On pressing F8, the sound of the buffer clash will be heard. On pressing F8 again, the sound of coupling up will be heard. Interesting, right? F9 is the light engine mode. Light adjust will be heard at the same time the inertia will be reduced. So put on F9. Giving it 40% throttle. There we go, fast to take it. We move up to F10 as a toot whistle. 11 is safety valves. It's quite loud. 12 is manual crane cocks. 13 is firebox door open and close. So no shoveling, just the opening and closing on the light. Page here. F14 is brass whistle. F15 is the train flange screw. I don't actually like the sound of this. Short down back there. 16 is loco flange screw. Seventeen is more steam. And with the sound of the ejector, coal shoveling will be heard at the same time. Two for one really there. F18 is water filling. The sound of water filling will be heard. This will continue until F18 is turned off. Note that if you left on for a long time, enough sound, if left on for long enough, the sound of the water overflowing will be heard. think like I need to be bought a whole factor run, which is boot to hot. There we go, that's in this thing. Right, I'm off the toilet now after there's still that water in. Just joking. Right, F19 is water tank filler opening and closing. Interesting. Almost like a little. And that's the end of the functions on actual F keys.